So, on here to talk about this is part number four. Part number four. So, growing up, raised by a single parent, then I find myself in those same situations. Sometimes we don't understand what our parents go through. We don't understand. We don't understand the struggle as young people. We really don't see all that they go through, all the tears, all the crying that we don't even see them doing sometimes because our parents don't want us to get upset. We see them crying. We really don't understand what's going on. So I talked about in number three about being pregnant in high school. Um, it's not the end thing, but it happened. So I can't really dwell on that. You really don't think about when you get pregnant in high school, well, any time that you get pregnant, really, but definitely when you're a young person, as early as 17, 18, 19 years old, you don't really think about anything. You're in love, and you figure, heck, love is gonna take care of all of this. You don't think about the Pampers, you don't think about the milk, you don't think about the clothes, you don't think about any of that. You think you're going to be with this person for the rest of your life. So, he was working, so why should I, have to worry about that? And mind you, I was still living at home, I was still in high school, and I was pregnant. I moved out the day that I turned 18 years old. I got up that morning, packed my bags. Psh, I was gone. I moved in. But he was my boyfriend at the time. Moved in with him and his family. And after that, I stayed. Like I said, I had the baby August 20th. Yeah, I had the baby August 20th. So that was the summertime. So I had the baby. So I waited a few months after I had my oldest child, and I went back to school, and I graduated. But after I had my oldest child, 6 months, 6 7 months later, I was pregnant again. So I was pregnant in high school twice, but I was graduating at the end of the year. So I was in the 12th grade by this time. So still, he was my boyfriend, not my husband. He was always a good provider. I do give it to him for that. He was a good provider. I worked a few jobs here and there, um, not nothing major. I Personally, I don't even remember where I worked. I think I worked in the summertime. So I don't even know. It was so long time ago. Some things, are fresh. Some things, you just can't remember. I know I went to college. I went to college on and off. Nothing steady though. I didn't stay in college very long. I got on welfare. That I think that's where most of my income came from. I got on welfare soon after I had my first child. So of course it was never enough money, but we managed that. Then we end up moving out. Um, I don't know if they're the first child or the second child. We moved out, and I do remember moving into this little small house, and I had to cook. I didn't even know how to barely fry a hamburger, so I had to cook. And rent was cheap 20 years ago, and plus it was in Indiana, so it was just super dirt cheap. Tell me how much it was. I don't know. So one time I remember, and I get emotional sometimes when I tell these stories of my life. We had ran out of food. We was running low on food, didn't have no food. But my boyfriend at the time, his pride wouldn't let him ask anybody. He didn't want to ask anybody. So we just didn't. So we went fishing. We went fishing, and we was what I think he was doing the fishing more or less. Couldn't catch anything. Even couldn't even catch a. I think it was they called minnows. Couldn't even catch a little small fish. So we looked across on the other side of the river, and there was this man over there. He was catching the fish, throwing it back, catching the fish, throwing it back. I was like, oh man. So we walked over to the other side, and we told the man our story. And he told us, he said, any fish I catch, you're more than welcome to have them. And I'm telling you, I thank God for that. Now, I still think about how God provided. He provided. And I truly just thank God. I truly thank God. So listen out for part number 5.